to get a job from applying to 5 jobs in a week. You're not ready. Like, I'm not even here to sugarcoat anything. You are not ready, because while you're doing 5 jobs in a week, someone out there is doing 20 to 25, if not 30 jobs in a week. And as these applications and as these jobs are coming out, as these companies are bringing out their, they're looking for this, they're looking for that, people are sharpshooters applying to these jobs. And that's how it is, especially if you're in the UK. The roles close 7 to 14 days. These are things, we're not even saying this based off assumptions. It's based off what we've done and what we've seen. So it means that you should constantly be on the lookout. If you're not on these platforms, you're going to miss out. You need your notifications and everything needs to be turned on. You need to be able to know when a job posting is out, so you apply immediately. And another thing is that skills come first. So if you're trying to get a job as a business analyst and you don't know how to use Trello, you don't know how to use Jira, you're just praying in your room to God that, God, please just give me a job as a data analyst, and I will show that company signs and wonders. My dear, you might be applying for a very long time. That's just the honest truth. That's just it. So look at yourself, like, what's the gap? Where are you? And what does that job require? You don't need to have 100%. No. What you just need to have is the basics. If you want to get a job as a business analyst, now, it's not like Nigeria that, okay, if someone can pick you up, that is my cousin, just put this person there for me. I mean, it happens if you know someone that knows someone that knows someone, but let's be honest, a lot of us are probably just immigrants you're trying to just fend for yourself, get a good job, get some money, feed your kids, and just have a stable life, right? You may not necessarily have a long hand to place yourself where you need to be. So it means you actually need to follow what the system requires of you. Get the skills. Yes, that's literally what you need to do. And when it comes to interviews, it is also predictable. Like I said, the job market in the UK is competitive, but it's predictable. It's star driven when it comes to interview. There is a structure. So if you're going to an interview hall thinking you can wing it, it might not work for you. All right. In as much as you want to wing it, there needs to be a structure with how you're winging it. Do you know these different approaches? Do you know how to structure your answer in such a way that the recruiter can literally say, okay, you've done this thing before, you actually know what you're saying? Do you know how to do that? And finally, it is ATS heavy. I'm going to ask you guys a very funny question. If you've been applying to jobs recently, have you noticed something that as soon as you apply to a job, you just get an automatic rejection? I don't know if this thing has happened to anyone. Like, you just apply, you just hit apply, and next thing you've received an email. Sorry, but you're not. If you've gotten that before, just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up. And you might actually be wondering, like, is it that the recruiter was sitting on his is it that the recruiter was sitting on his own table when I was making my own applications? You'll be wondering. If you've not gotten to that point yet, you still have a lot to cover up. But yeah, why it's like that is because right now there's a lot of automation when it comes to hiring. Okay, it's not to discourage anyone, it's just for you to understand that it's predictable if you know what to do. Okay, there's a lot of automation when it comes to hiring. Okay, so a lot of things are ATS heavy. If you are not if your CV is not ATS compliant, most likely you would get an automatic rejection even before the CV gets to the recruiter. Most times it doesn't even get to the recruiter. It's just the way it is. You get automatically rejected because the ATS has scanned your CV and it is not compliant. It just is gone, right? So once you understand these dynamics, you can now use it to your advantage. All right, so we're going to delve deeper into a couple of things that you guys need to understand. Okay, so if you want to get access to the recording, you want to get the slides, my colleague is going to drop an attendance form in the chat. So please just do well, fill the attendance form, and you can pay attention because I'll share all the materials with you via email. All right. So here are the top 5 reasons you keep getting rejected. It's not because your village people are after you. I'm going to say this the second time. You're not getting rejected because there's someone out there that has put your picture under a stone. It's just because you are not following instructions. It's because you are not following instructions. All right. If your CV is not UK standard, there is no magic you're going to perform that's going to get you an interview. If you are not tailoring your CV to fit a job role, or let's say you're not even matching, you're not doing any bit of matching or whatever, you would not be able to land an interview. If you're using what's it called? Is it quick apply on LinkedIn? You're not putting any effort into applications, you will not be able to get the interviews you want. All right, you're putting out low quality applications. Whenever we're doing things, I like to tell people I try as much as possible to do things to the best I can, because I know for a fact that someone out there is probably doing better. So if I am randomly making these applications and I want to get this job that a lot of people are trying to get, why should I be doing low quality when they are like 10,000 looking for the same things? How, I mean, what now makes me so special, right? I want us to be thinking in this direction when we're working with things like this. All right. And if your LinkedIn is not visible, if you have a weak LinkedIn visibility, I'll tell you that you limit your chances. A lot of people don't like LinkedIn for a couple of reasons. Some people would be like, people on LinkedIn, like, there's a whole lot of, what's it called? Everybody's showing off. I know. But LinkedIn is one of those platforms that literally is going to help you. A lot of people are getting, in fact, my clients get recruiter messages literally every day on LinkedIn. Visibility doesn't mean you need to be posting every single day. No, it means that your profile is visible. It means that if a recruiter searches for business analyst, your profile pops up. The only way your profile is going to pop up in LinkedIn when you do all of these things is if you've tailored, let's say if your profile contains the keywords it's supposed to contain, if everything just screams, oh, hire me, trust me, your profile will be popping up. We're still going to get to that. All right. Now, finally, you got, let's say for whatever reason you got the interview. All right. Another reason you keep getting rejected is because you don't prepare properly for these interviews. All right. People think that, oh, it's an interview, is it not just for me to say what I've done? That's the beginning of failure. All right. So you need to prepare for interviews as if you are preparing for for a big exam, because it's literally an exam. Okay, the recruiter is examining you and you're also examining them to see if that company is a right fit for you. You need to get to a point whereby you know exactly what you're looking for, and you're ready for these interviews. I don't like situations whereby someone gets into the job search phase. You're looking for a job, and you're not taking looking for a job as a job. You're taking it as a side hustle. You need to be ready, you need to prepare adequately. All right, so once you fix these 5 things, you can see that these things are probably things you've heard before, but this is the truth. Like, once you fix 5 of these things, you're literally going to increase your chances of actually getting accepted, even if the system is a bit wobbly, but you increase your chances. So what are the strategies you need to take note of? I mentioned earlier that some of these things might sound familiar, but it is very, very important, because one thing at Talent Loop is, if something works, we double down on it. So everything that I'm bringing to you today is not based off just research. It's based off what works for us as a company. Now, we also need to keep in mind the reality of things. It might not always be 100, but you can increase your chances. So if you pay attention to the kind of words I've been using, increasing your chances. So let's say if your chance of getting an interview used to be 30%, there are certain things you can do to increase your chances from 30 to at least 85 or 90. All right. And these are the things, right? Your CV. Every country has a standard of how a CV should look like. All right. Every company, every country has a standard of what your CV should look like. I think I would also show you guys what a UK CV should actually look like, at least before the end of this session. All right. So yeah, your CV needs to be standard, well structured. All right, well structured. It will be part of the things I'll be sharing. So let me see. I think I see a couple of chats. People are filling it. Okay, if you're unable to fill the form, one thing you can do is actually to copy the link to your browser. Google Meet has been having some issues recently. So if you're having struggling to open it directly, just copy and add it to your browser. So your UK standard CV, very important. Precise job targeting. I'm going to be explaining each of these points as we move forward so that you get to understand what it actually entails, right? So precise job targeting. Some of us just, I'm looking for business analyst job. You just search business analyst and you start throwing your CV everywhere. Please, if you've been doing this and you think, oh, I applied to 20 jobs today, I should get an interview, just stop. Just stop. You need to target, like, you need to shoot your shot in loops that you would actually get that chance. What does it mean? You're a business analyst, right? Let's say you don't yet have UK experience, because UK experience is actually important, or you're trying to get UK work experience and your previous role was not in tech. Maybe you're coming from let's say okay, let me use data analyst for example. You're coming from a healthcare background. You were in Nigeria, you did a little bit of nursing or healthcare, and now you just got to the UK. Maybe you're trying to do your master's, and you're also delving into data analysis because that's the new career path you want to actually get a job in. And you're just like, oh, entry level you apply, mid level you apply, senior level you apply because you want a job. Relax, you don't need to do all of that. I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to do as we move forward. Now, high velocity of applications. I've already said this thing before. 2 is not going to cut it. 3 is not going to cut it. It's a game of numbers and quality. All right. So you need to be applying to as many as possible. So instead of me just, let's already go in. Let's take each of these so that we know exactly what we should be doing. All right. So your CV should make a recruiter say, this is a fit in 6 seconds. So it means first, it should pass the ATS. Before it gets to the recruiter, it needs to pass the ATS. If you've not been using ATS softwares to scan through your CV, you need to start doing it today. All right. So there are a couple of them. I think we have. Let me see if I can pull one up. I'll show you guys. We have different types. If you just search ATS resume checker, it will check it for you. If the percentage is anything less than 85, you need to go back, redo that CV until it needs to be between 85, 90, 100. All right. So once it's in that lineup of percentage, you know you're good to go. Don't apply to a job with a CV that has been scanned 60 or 50%. You're going to get an automatic rejection. All right. So you need to make sure that your CV is ATS compliant. So the ATS scanner literally needs to be able to, like, if your CV is well structured, it scans through it without any issues. But if your CV is not structured the way it's supposed to be structured and it's scanning, like, it's probably not even going to be able to scan from top to bottom, and they'll just reject you because it's like it's not a fit automatically. That's why you create a CV, take it over to an ATS scanner. There are different softwares that scan CV for ATS compliance. Run your CV through it, check the percentage. If it's not up to at least 90%, check it again. I think Resume Worded does that. Resume Worded is a platform that does that. Yeah, it does. All right. So the key principles you need to have in mind when you're creating a CV tailored to the UK is skills first. Every skill that is required for a particular job role needs to be on that CV. At least 70%. Don't be scared. Okay. Done. Okay. All right. Don't be scared of, oh, I've not used this tool before. What if they ask me during interview? I hear these things and I'm like, what are you guys even saying? Like, getting the interview is the hardest part. Like, you need to get it. If like being in front of the recruiter, you could literally convince a recruiter why you will be able to get the job. I feel like that's something that if you brush up your skills, you can be able to pass it. But you see, getting the interview in itself, anything that is required to be on your CV to get that interview needs to be on your CV. You can learn the rest on the job. You can learn the rest later. You can't, if you're 100% fit for a job, you shouldn't even be applying to it. If you're 70%, apply. Make sure that you're applying. Don't be scared. Don't limit yourself. Apply to these jobs. Now, your CV also needs to be achievement focused. After this interview, after this session, you might want to go back to your CV and check out some things. All right. So if your CV, I think, I might have to show you guys what my own CV looks like. Yeah. So if your CV is not it's not showing impact, all right. Let's say under a particular you worked with, let's say, a company, NHS, for example, and it's on your CV, NHS, and the sub things that are supposed to be under that particular role, you're just putting led a team of all of the, there is no percentage, there is no impact, there is no problem and solution, nothing. You're just stating task. You will not get that interview. All right. And it also needs to be ATS optimized. All the keywords from that job ad need to be on your CV. That is literally it. All the keywords from the job ad needs to be on your CV. It needs to be very simple. Don't clutter your CV. All right. No unnecessary personal information. I see some people putting female, male on their CV. It's really unnecessary, to be honest. In fact, if for anything, you just increase your level, you might even increase your chances of not getting the job, because now you've told us you're female. What if the person that the recruiter is biased about a certain kind of, all those kind of things? You should not be on your CV. Your age should not be on your CV, to be crying out loud. Please don't put your age on your CV. So there are some personal information that are very unnecessary that shouldn't even be on your CV in the first place. Okay, all right. Now, your core skills, whatever you're putting as your skills, need to match what was in the JD. Okay. So if they tell you that they're looking for your business analyst, that company uses Trello, they don't use Jira, and you on your CV, you're putting Jira and there is no Trello. When your CV is run through ATS, it might most probably reject you because they need Trello and you have Jira. So it's like they don't even want to hear you out. If you can learn Trello, just put Trello there. If you don't know how to use Trello, you will go and learn. This is just the smart way of doing this thing. Don't limit yourself. Okay. Now, every other thing, make sure you're laying it out in a very clean way and manner. All right. That is, I'm going to be sharing another screen now. I want you guys to see what an actual well-structured CV looks like. And I think this was created by let me quickly share this. And please, while we're waiting for me to bring this up, please fill the attendance form. It is very, very, very important, guys. You need to fill the attendance form. All right. Okay. I don't know why it's taking time to load, but once that is done, I'll show you guys what that looks like. So moving forward, what is the next thing we need to pay attention to? Job targeting. All right. So your in fact the job you're looking for and you as a person, there needs to be a match. There needs to be some level of alignment. All right. It's good to aim big. It's good for you to have high taste. I'm not saying limit yourself, no. But whatever kind of applications you're making, there needs to be something about you that makes you a better qualifier for that job. Don't just don't just don't just shoot out applications. You need to have an edge. All right. So I was giving an example of being a data analyst and you're coming from a healthcare background. I don't even think I finished that. I'm going to finish it here, right? So let's say you're applying to jobs. The best kind of jobs that you would literally have an edge if you're an entry-level data analyst coming from a healthcare background is health analyst roles. That's the one that you would apply to, and you would still, I mean, even the next person that's probably having more experience than you, they may not get that job, but you coming from a health background most likely be able to tailor your CV to get that kind of job. That's literally it. Okay, so the UK hiring system rewards specific type of candidates. If you're applying to the right roles and there is a match and you have consistent experience, you're going to get favored. All right. So you need to also understand some naming conventions, like the way some kind of words are used on your CV. You don't just do things anyhow, guys. All right. So everything on your CV needs to be consistent. You can't tell me that you worked for you're currently working two roles within the same exact time span. No, you don't do that on your CV. It's okay to make adjustments on your CV. You want to get an interview now. These are things that people will not tell you. It's not everything you need to have on your CV, and at the same time, there are certain things you can't leave out. Okay, so let's say you did. Let me look for a very funny kind of role that you might think should not be on your CV. Something like um you're a teacher, for example. You did some kind of level of teaching. You used to mark scripts, and you used to, when you were in Nigeria, you used to mark your students script, and you would, let's say that particular school was more tech inclined, you would compute all those test scores into Excel and probably analyze to get first, second, third position. Someone just think, I mean, I was a teacher, right? You're putting on your CV that you were a teacher. You were a data analyst, for crying out loud, in that school. I hope we're on the same page, guys. I hope nobody is sleeping yet. Just give me a thumbs up if we're on the same page. You're trying to get a data analyst job and you're feeling like, oh, I was a teacher. Where do I even want to start from? But in that school, you did analysis. This is where a lot of people are missing things out, right? Yeah, a lot of us are afraid to position ourselves. I call it positioning. I don't call it lying. I call it packaging. You need to package yourself well. So when you're in front of a recruiter, they're asking like, "Oh, you did this in this school. Can you tell me more about it?" You tell them that you used to compute students' results. You did the analysis for the teachers to know who were the best performing students and least performing students, so they would be able to do this and do that. You help them with decision making. These are things they want to know you know how to do. You don't go to tell a recruiter that you were a teacher. What do they want to do with that kind of experience? All right. So yeah, that's literally what I am saying. There is just a way you put these things, and it tells the next person that, oh, you actually have that experience. You were a teacher for 10 years and you want to throw it away because you feel like it doesn't align. No, we don't do that over here. All right. So there needs to be a lot of alignment with what you are doing. Okay. So 80%, I think that's the next slide. I'm going ahead of my slide, guys. 80% of your interview chances come from 20% of the roles you target. So if you have 1 hour to apply to jobs, or let's say you're a busy person and you just want to dedicate 1-2 hours to apply to these jobs, you need to spend the bulk of your time doing two things: tailoring your CV and targeting for these roles. Majority of your interview chances comes from these two little things. It's not about sitting to waste your time searching for those jobs, or sitting to recreate, overcreate, undercreate your CV or what. You need to target well. If you can find 5 jobs that you are a best fit for, it is actually better than applying to 20 jobs that you cannot even stand a chance. I'm going to say that again. If you can find 5 jobs, well targeted roles that you are a best fit for, it's better to apply to those 5 roles and go to bed than applying to 20 jobs that you can't even stand a chance. Let's be realistic. I've said this thing over again. It's competitive. You need to have leverage. All right. So you need to focus on real job equivalence. What do you have? What does this company need? Where is the middle ground? Where is the exchange? What can happen? All right. The exact skill match. What are the skills you have that can be relevant? Now, skills could be soft skills and also soft skills and hard skills. All right. So let's go to the soft skills part. Let's a lot of clients I speak with on a day-to-day, I hear something common, and that is how much they underestimate soft skills. You're a customer sales rep and you're trying to transition into a better job because you don't want to do, nobody likes doing support work, but you feel like customer support that you did in Nigeria was not so great. So now you're like, how am I even going to do it? Something that you don't even know. Like, for you to be able to excel as a customer support specialist, you need to have top-notch communication skills. You need to have top-notch communication skills. So now you spent years developing that soft skill, and now you're just going to throw it away. We're not doing that. No. What are you going to do? You're going to leverage that in the next career path you want to choose, or the next career path you're trying to get a job in. All right. You've developed your communication skills for the past 2 years as a customer support rep. You also have some level of problem solving, on the spot problem. Like, there is a way you put these things. All right. So if you see a job that is requiring certain things, maybe they say that you need to have a particular level of communication skills, problem solving, this is da. Go back to your drawing board. What are the experiences that you can highlight on your CV to match this, and apply? Industry alignment. I've mentioned this already. All right. So if you are applying to a certain kind of industry, have you done maybe your master's? Did you do something related to that industry or not? All right. Make sure there is an alignment with that, and also realistic roles, not stretch roles. There are some roles that I don't know. I'm going to ask. I don't know if some of us have seen. Going to use a data analyst role, for example, right? You go to you're searching on LinkedIn, you're looking for jobs, and you see a data analyst role, but this data analyst role is looking funny. They're saying that you should be able to use Python, and you should be able to use some databases and stuff. That it's now looking like they want you to be a data analyst slash data scientist slash data engineer in one. And you go to the salary threshold and it's looking funny. Please, if you've been in this situation before, just give me a thumbs up, because there are some kind of job roles that you shouldn't even be applying to be honest. All right. So you should be looking at realistic roles that fit into exactly what you're looking for, not roles that would stretch you thin. Those are just companies trying to get 3 people in one, and they would pay them one person's salary. That's literally what it is. And you actually don't want to find yourself in those kind of situations. All right. So that is literally it. If you're going to be taking anything out of this session, please take this. 80% of your interview chances actually come from 20% of the roles you target. So apply to the right roles. Don't just throw applications everywhere because you feel like, oh, Victory said numbers, so I need to be applying to 100, even if I don't fit into this 100. No. All right. So now, the next part is the velocity of applications you should be making. I understand that a couple of us here, you have 9 to 5s. You might not even have the time because application in itself is a game of numbers, and it's also a game of, quality and time. But the truth about it is that the more jobs you apply to, the higher your chances of getting a role. That is literally it. And it goes two ways, number and quality. So some people would just do number. Some people would just do, targeting and quality. If I can find 5 jobs I fit into and I tailor my CV and everything to fit these jobs, I'll most likely get interviews. And that person I want to just do numbers. Okay, I'll just shoot. Either way, it is very important that you're applying to a good number of jobs, and you need to be consistent with these applications. All right, it shouldn't be a situation of today I do 2, the next time I'm applying is in 2 weeks. You're not going to get traction by doing that. All right, now you need to apply early. You need to apply early, at least within the first 48 hours. If you've been on LinkedIn, you would know that you should be searching and tailoring your job search down to 48 hours, not just applying to jobs. You see a job that has been posted for over 2 weeks, you're applying. I mean, you can if you want to, but what's the point of doing that? They've probably done the interview and picked the clients that they want to pick for that particular, the candidates rather they want to pick for that particular kind of job. All right. And you need to be very strategic about it. You don't just, it is now, application in itself is too hectic for you to be doing it anyhow. That's the truth. If you have 2 hours to spare in a day, why not spend the best of those 2 hours doing the right things than for you to spend it doing anything you feel like doing? All right. You should be tailoring your jobs quickly. There are platforms I'm going to show you guys that's also going to support you with this. We have one we are working on. It's called CV Matchly. All right. And I'm going to show you guys towards the end of this session. All right. So that platform helps you to tailor your applications quickly to the job so that you are making more applications in less time. All right. And also, velocity, more applications is more visibility. The more you're putting your CV out there, the more chances recruiters will call you, the more chances you get feedback from these recruiters. So velocity is very, very important. LinkedIn, there is nobody that to talk about application that won't mention LinkedIn. For my clients, even if regular applications don't give as much traction, let's say on a bad week, they're not getting any callbacks or any feedback. But you see LinkedIn, at least 3-4 recruiters will be sending DMs. Oh, I saw your profile. I have a role. I'd love for you to check this. I'll show you guys proof, so it won't be like I'm just speaking. All right. So recruiters love LinkedIn, especially UK recruiters. All of them are there. If you're looking for a job, LinkedIn, you should also be using LinkedIn for job search. It is one of those top tools that's going to help you find jobs. All right. So I'm going to show you guys. Let me pull up my LinkedIn to show you guys what a properly optimized profile looks like. Let me show you guys quickly. All right. Okay. Now, if you look at my LinkedIn, right, you're not going to look at this and think, oh, this person is not serious, or you wouldn't look at this and feel like, But there are some of us here that you don't remember the last time you touched your LinkedIn. Even no matter how much you're busy, you should be looking at your LinkedIn at least. You should be looking at your LinkedIn at least 2 times in a month. Optimize it. There are probably some skills you've added in your workplace or some things you've learned in your workplace you need to add on. You need to be searching, you need to be updating your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn needs to stand out. So if a recruiter searches for you on LinkedIn, or they search for a certain role, or they randomly stomp on your profile, they are not disappointed and they don't just scroll by. All right. So your LinkedIn needs to contain the it needs to contain what is required in terms of keywords. All right. So me, I'm a very creative person actually. So you can see here that my LinkedIn it contains what you would want to see. Okay. All these things I mentioned, oh, what I bring to the table and all of that, those are keywords. So if I get recruiter messages too. If a recruiter searches paid ads, or they're looking for a growth specialist that's into running advertisements on maybe Facebook or whatever, you would find my profile. Or you're looking for a sales funnel optimization specialist, you would find my profile because these words are there. Things like sales funnel, things like those are things related to my field that are on my CV, on my LinkedIn. All right. So your LinkedIn is like it's the digital version of your CV. That's literally what it is. All right. And I mean, once in a while, you should be posting relevant things to your industry. And you could also reach out to recruiters if you have the time. All right. So these are like extra steps you can take. If you're serious about actually getting a job, to be honest, you should be doing all of these things. And the best time is actually now in December. So maybe you can use between 25th and 26th, use it for Christmas. But you see, between now and the 30th, guys, go back to your LinkedIn, go back to your CV, go back to literally everything, so that in January, when these companies are back hiring, you're ready and you're putting your applications out there. You're not just waiting till, oh, maybe a recruiter will find me. No, you need to put yourself out there. So you can use between now and the end of this month to clear up everything you need to clear up. LinkedIn will boost your credibility instantly. Even if your CV did not speak so much of you, if your LinkedIn looks a particular kind of way, they just feel it's giving professional vibes. Like I'm Gen Z, guys. So that's not even, it's giving exactly what it should. All right. Now I have my specialists that are very, very, very good at this. Like if any of my guys should touch your LinkedIn will never remain the same. Like I can beat my chest to say that, to be very honest, right? So let's keep going. Okay. So interview preparation is important. I see the way if you prepare, if you have an exam, let's say you have your MBBS exam that you need to be taking once in a year. The way you prepare for that exam is the way you should be preparing for an interview, because it's not every day you get a chance to speak with a recruiter. So why do people take this opportunity so lightly? If you have an opportunity to sell yourself to a recruiter, you should be ready to do so. All right. You need to understand what they want in the first place. What are they testing? They're testing your communication skills. Literally, like, can you present yourself in a way that tells them, oh, hire me? Can you communicate your thoughts in a way that tells the recruiter that you're the best person for the job? And it's not even just about you, it's about them. Let's say they hire you now. If you can't communicate properly, how are you going to be able to carry out your roles? How would you be able to communicate with your colleagues? So they are testing to know how good you are at these things, right? So another thing that they are also trying to get to know is they're trying to test your problem solving skills. This is why there is a structure as to how you answer interview questions. How can you solve problems? Companies are not hiring you because they feel like you're the best data analyst, or they feel like, oh, your SQL skills are so good. I want you to, in fact, you create beautiful dashboards. I just want you to come to my company and create beautiful dashboards. No, nobody actually cares about that. The key thing they're hiring you for is, what problem can you solve for them? There are three kind of problems companies are trying to solve year in, year out. They're trying to make more money, they're trying to save money, and they're trying to save time and resources. If you can help a company do any of these three things, you can get hired anywhere. If you can communicate how you can help a company do any of these three things, even if you look at um, the roles that are currently being requested for in today's job market, they also center around these things. Why do you think data analysts are being searched for every single year? It's because as a data analyst, you're solving a key problem for companies. You're helping them create, you're helping them to extract insights from numbers, just data. Like, we produce data everywhere, but you as a data analyst, you can use certain tools to transform this data into something I can understand. I mean, it's going to help a company to either make more money or save more money, because now your analysis can give me insights whether I should take a certain action or decision or not. This is how you should be looking at yourself in a company. You're not there to create beautiful dashboards. I'm going to use another example. I think I've been using data analytics much. Let me use something like someone should give me something in the chat. Let me see. Any career path. Let me use anyone's career path here. Just give me a career path in the chat. I'll tell you how cybersecurity, very good. Chukwemeka. Now, as a cybersecurity professional, what are you doing? Why do companies even need you in the first place? The world is going digital. Like, literally everything right now is going digital. And as much as it's going digital, everyone too, they're also going digital. So if a company is creating a software today, it means that there's someone else that is also learning skills to be able to hack that software, or to be able to, if it's, let's use fintech companies for example. Every day, every single day, there is a new startup, or there's a new company that's trying to create the best product that's going to save, that's going to help people do this digital currency and all of that. It's being created every day. The same way these companies are trying to do all of these things, there are people out there learning how to steal money from these digital currencies, or how to just hack into it. So why do companies need you as a cybersecurity professional? Cybersecurity in itself is broken down to different aspects. So there's an aspect of it that is more focused on threat intelligence. It means that you are ready for any form of threat. Like, you're literally doing the flip side of what scammers do. You learn what scammers do so that you'll be able to stop them if they try to hack into your system or that's literally it. So a company would need you to protect their assets. They will need you to also, let's say you're in GRC as a cybersecurity professional, they will need you to be able to set certain policies and just governance policies that would be able to put everyone online when it comes to data security and all of that. They need you, but you will not just come in if you don't know how to do these things. You need to be good at it. You're helping them solve the problem. All right. So if you're all these companies are producing things, you're helping them to secure these things they are producing. Literally, that's literally it. Okay. So don't think that, oh, I've tried learning cybersecurity, it's useless, it is oversaturated, I need to go to another career path. The same career path you're trying to go into, I can tell you that it's also saturated, but you need to find something unique about what you bring to the table that you can use when you're selling yourself during an interview. All right. Account management. Now, you're an account manager. You might feel like I don't like I don't like anything accounting. A lot of people don't, to be honest. So whenever I see people interested in this, I'm like, I just give you a thumbs up, because you're just able to make sense of all the currency numbers and all of that. Anything numbers, if you're able to make sense of numbers, just keep honing that skills and positioning yourself well, because you're actually on the pathway to getting hired. So cybersecurity, accounting, data analysis, all of these career paths are perfect. You just need to be able to strategically position yourself in a way that makes you stand out. Cultural fit is very important. So I've said a lot of things today, but I like to be as realistic as possible, right? Especially if you're looking for a job in the UK. There is a lot of, I don't want to say, I think the word is bias, right? Because you'd see that somebody that probably has 20 years of experience in Nigeria or Ghana or India, because I've spoken to a lot of these guys, right? You'd see you have 20 years of experience in these countries and you're now in a new country, and it's like you can't even land an entry level job. It's usually heartbreaking, because I can't even imagine having so much experience and still not able. It's heartbreaking, to be honest. But the truth is that is just how the system is. So it's either you're working your way around the system or you just let it beat you up. That's just two ways about it. And when it comes to the UK, there's a lot of, like, you really need to be a cultural fit. In what sense do I mean? You need to have UK work experience. This is not to discourage the rest of us, but it's the reality of things. So if you're on this call today and you've been applying and you don't know why you've not been getting interviews, if you've done everything right, let me also put that back. If you've done everything right and you've not still been getting interviews, it's probably because you do not have UK work experience. I'm sorry to break it to you. And automatically, if nothing on your CV screams that you've worked in the UK before, it literally means you're not a cultural fit for the company. That's how they see it. That's the reality. Okay. So what does this mean for you trying to get a job in this space? It means that you should be trying everything possible to have UK on your CV as an experience. Okay? Internship, volunteer, what else? Even if it's a free service, but with a company in the UK, all right? In that role you're trying to get a job in, please do it. Unpaid or paid, you just need it. So it's literally you reverse engineering the system. You know you need UK experience. I mean, if you sacrifice like 3 4 months, or let's say let's 3 4 months doing some free service as a data analyst in a UK company, or maybe you have a friend that's doing something, he has an organization, whatever, even if it's for free, as a business analyst, you've seen he's struggling with a couple of things, and you're like, I can bring something to the table. All right. So please, please, and please try to do all these things. Like, do it, volunteer, get experience, so that you can add it on your CV. Okay. You need to be able to link a UK experience with your current job you're trying to get. Okay. My biggest challenge has been getting recruiters to agree to the salary as set by Home Office for visa sponsorship. Okay, I know we'll get to the conversation of visa sponsorship soon. All right, I get where you're coming from. Now, your past behavior, star method. So if you have, let's say they ask you a question like, tell me about a time you were able to, you faced a certain challenge at work, and just tell me how you were able to solve this particular problem or something, right? When a recruiter asks you that, they're not asking you for gist. Please, the recruiters are not trying to gist with you. Yes, there is a way you can tailor the conversation whereby you guys are communicating and you're chit chatting and all of that. But you need to understand that they are assessing you from beginning till the end. From when you get into an interview hall, the recruiter is assessing you. If it is virtually, you need to look the part. If it is physically, you need to be on time and look the part. So if they ask you a question like that, don't start gisting. Have the STAR technique in mind. STAR. What does it mean? Situation, task, action, and results. Anytime a recruiter asks you any question that relates to a previous experience, Have star in mind. Situation. What was the situation? Okay. Maybe let's say as a project manager, right? You realize that okay, I'm trying to solve a particular problem. What was the situation? You need to create the situation around the particular problem. What happened? Let's say I'm trying to get a very good example. I don't know who is a project manager here. Give me a scenario so I can use the star technique to answer, to just play it out for you. I also want to do that for me. All right. I'm trying to pull up the CV, guys, while I'm doing that. So quickly in the chat, anyone can do that. All right, let's just ask a question. Let's say you're a recruiter and you want me to use the star technique to quickly give you an answer. And looking for that in the chat. I don't know if anyone has done that yet. I'll just be taking one, honestly. I want me to pull it. Let me see. Okay. I'm still waiting. I don't think so. We don't have any project manager here. Interesting. How can I have a session and I don't have one project manager? Anyways, I'm going to use another career path. Customer had issues with their account. How were you able to resolve it? Situation, task, action, and result. Okay. I'm going to use Kinde's own, but I don't know. I think that career path is not looking like project management though. So I'm going to use Priscilla's question sounds like project management. All right, describe a time you had to manage conflict. Star situation, what happened? Conflict between two cross-functional teams. Let's use cross-functional teams, right? You're a project manager leading a particular project that involves the data analyst and the data analyst and business analyst. And let's say the situation was around lack of sync between these two teams. So that's the situation, literally, right? There was conflict because of a lack of, you're a project manager and on your team you're working on a particular project, let's say a fintech project, and it consists in that particular team we have the business analyst, we have the data analyst and a couple of other people, right? Maybe the web developer. Okay, we use web developer and the data analyst or business analyst, web developer and business analyst. So you have all these people in your team, and there was a lack of sync with deadline between the software developer and the business analyst. So it means that maybe the software developer has been waiting for a particular deliverable from business. That caused problem, for example. All right. So what did you do as a project manager? Now, the situation, I've stated it out. The task, what did you do? State the things you did. If you're a project manager, how were you able to resolve this? What were the specific tasks? Now, there needs to be sync. The problem is that there is no sync, and there needs to be sync. What and what needs to happen for sync to happen? Communication, all right? Communication needs to happen. Let's say you now bring all of them, you onboard them into a shared Trello board so that the the business analyst can see what the web developer is also, there's visibility between the two on this Trello board. This person is uploading their deliverables, this person is uploading, the deadline is visible to everyone. So now there is nothing like, oh, this, oh, that, whatever. Actions, how did you do it? Task is, what did you do? Action, how did you do it? You explain. R is what? Result. What was the result? There was now better sync, and also deliverables were being delivered on time. The deliverables were happening on time because now there is sync, and there is, there's no issue between both parties anymore. One mistake, and trust me, I've been on an interview panel before, and we're interviewing a client that came on board to say that I don't know. Yeah, there are just certain things you shouldn't say during an interview, right? They asked him a question around past behavior, and he was bashing his teammates because he felt comfortable on the call. I was just there like, no, you don't do this. Because a recruiter will now be looking at, if I bring this person to my team, is this how they will be disgracing me in public or no? So please don't bash anyone on your team. Technical accuracy, know your tools, know your tools. Please know your tools. Okay? Know your tools. Elaborate on the resolution process. Oh, okay, guys. I'm looking at my time. Okay, so I'm looking at my time, to be honest. I wish I could do that, but I'm looking at my time. So just bear in mind, STAR method: situation, task, action, and results. Problem, situation, tie it down. Best training and skill. I have a lot of questions in the chat. So guys, we're getting to questions. I'll take each and every one of our questions on this call. So technical accuracy, know your tools, know the tools that you don't know yet. Even if it is 10%, have an idea. If you're a HR professional and you don't know, like you saw a particular job board and you saw a tool that you've not used before, apply to that job. But one thing you're going to do is copy that name of the tool, go on YouTube and look at it. It's better that you know 20% of everything at least, so that if an interview comes up and they're asking you, you know what to say. Okay? Because the truth is, prepared candidates will definitely outperform natural talker. You might feel like, oh, I am naturally communicative, I'll answer questions during interview. Interviews will humble you. I tell my clients, right, if you're getting on an interview, one thing that's really going to help you, you see your phone. I think you guys can see my phone. Your phone, turn on recording. All right. Whenever you get a chance for an interview, using your laptop, if it's a virtual interview, using your laptop, right? Turn on the recorder on your phone. Keep it on your, like, just keep it close by. Have the whole interaction. Make sure that before you go to an interview, you're calm. Do breath work. Breathe in, breathe out. Learn everything you need to learn and make sure your blood pressure is relaxed before you go into an interview ground, so that you're not hyperventilating when question is being thrown at you. Okay, so just turn on your recorder and just have that interview. Whether you fail it, whether you did well, you did not do well, record it, so that when you go back, because recruiters won't always give you feedback, especially these UK recruiters, like even the rejection email is usually so bland, like they don't even take time to reject you. They just, this is that next thing, rejection. What's the feedback? No feedback. So you're going to give yourself feedback. Once you record that, after that interview, you're going to go back, listen to everything you said, how you said it, and write out those questions that were being asked. If I think there's a way you can, ChatGPT has a feature where play, like, you could use your voice to say things and it'll be on the, like, it to just write it out for you. So you could literally play the recording, tell ChatGPT to analyze how this interview went and things you should have done better. This is just you getting your own feedback. So once you play, ChatGPT is going to be listening and it would be typing it as it's listening. There's a feature for that. Use your speaker on ChatGPT, right? So you do all of that, tell ChatGPT to analyze it and give you feedback on what you should have done better, how you did, and all of that. Score you, basically. And use that, practice, prepare. The next interview, the same thing. That way you'll be able to realistically track your improvements in these interviews. This hack, you're not going to hear it anywhere, okay? So now, all of these things I've said, Talent Loop, we help you. We're getting towards the end of this session, right? So I'm going to walk you guys through a couple of things, then we'll take questions, because I know we have a whole lot of questions, right? So Talent Loop, we support you with every single thing I've mentioned from beginning to the end. I saw someone saying I'm interested in LinkedIn optimization. That is also a part. So I mentioned CV and LinkedIn. If you're trying to enhance your profile, you're trying to get interviews, we support you with this. So all my professionals are very good working with the UK job market. So we tailor your CV specifically to these jobs. If you're finding this gap, you feel that you related to most of the issues I talked about and you do not want to do it by yourself, we are here to help you with it. If you're going to be doing it by yourself, I would also answer all the questions in the chat. All right. So another thing we also help you with is applying to these jobs. Application is a job in itself. So we assist you and we manage the process on your behalf. All right. So you could take a step back. Let's do it for you. Let's save you time. All right. Talent Loop supports you with all of that. Now we get you interviews. 3 interviews in at least 6 to 8 weeks of applications. All right. So this is like 6 to 8 weeks is like an average timeline. You know, I mentioned that December, especially now, companies will soon be going on. You would notice little activity when it comes to feedback and all that because it's getting to the festive period. But everything is going to spike up in January. So why I mentioned is between now and December 30th, get your CV in order, get your LinkedIn in order, make sure that you're preparing for interviews as if you would have one tomorrow. So these 6 to 8 weeks, like an average timeline, give yourself Q1 realistically. You start getting feedback, you start getting interviews and all of that, right? We also prep you and we share toolkits with you on how you can literally prepare for these interviews. These toolkits, we have question and answers. We assign it to a professional that prepares you for these interviews. So you have like a one-on-one prep session. So if you're also, let's say you're more tailored towards you're trying to get a job, a sponsorship job, or a job that's going to sponsor you, we have a package that also suits this. All right. What does it entail? We still revamp your CV, optimize your LinkedIn, and we apply to specific jobs. Remember what I said about targeting? It's better you apply to 50 or 20 or 10 targeted jobs than to apply to 100 that you're not a fit for. So this particular one, we apply to at least 50 targeted jobs specifically for job sponsorship, and we manage the entire application process on your behalf. All right. And then we prep you 2 interview prep sessions in this particular package. So I mentioned to you guys earlier that once my guys touch your LinkedIn, it will never be the same. I was not bluffing. All right. So these are actual proof of recruiters reaching out directly to our clients. You could see the first is for a CRM analyst opportunity. The next is for a full stack developer activity position rather, right? So we're not tied down to tech roles. We have HR, we work with HR professionals, we work with health tech professionals, and we are not tied down to just tech roles. We support every role. So you can see we have Scrum Master here. You can see most of these are actually in the UK. We also support people in Canada and also in the US, but majority, since we're tailored to the UK for this session, I'll be specific with it. So you can see majority of these recruiters are for companies that are in the UK, reaching out to our clients on LinkedIn. And for interview invites, it's also the same thing. All right. So these are also UK based. This is from Scotland, by the way. The second one is actually a company in the UK. All right. So these are also interview invites we've been able to help our clients get. We couldn't even fit everything here because there are actually a lot, to be honest. I'm going to scan through it because there are some details that, yeah. So you see, these are mostly emails for interviews. The first one here, a video interview. You see project manager interview. You see accounting interview. And these are just interviews that we've also been able to help secure our clients. We don't promise jobs, but we actually had clients that have gotten jobs from this because they were doing the right things. All right. So we have Christian got a job as a project manager, worked with him for 6 weeks. And on the side is actually his offer letter, which he got when he actually got the job. We have Ene. Ene got a job as a data scientist with a company in the UK. And she enrolled for Talent Loop. We worked with her for 2 months. Her case was just so, she's one of our clients that kept coming back because she kept getting recruiter calls and, offer opportunities. Even after she got the job, she was like, she's still getting interviews. Let's stop whatever we're doing. That she has a job, she's okay with her job, right? So that's literally it. We have Yetunde. Yetunde got a job as a customer support specialist in the US, and we worked with her for a month. Different strokes for different folks, right? So we worked with her for a month. This is when she got the job. She was super excited about it. So we also have Temi got a job as a project manager, a scrum master to be specific, in Winnipeg, Canada. And we worked with her for, I think it was a month or two. Yeah. And she got a job after 4 interviews. So our baseline is 3 interviews, but 2 came in at the same time. We prepped her for all of them, and one of them clicked. She was able to get this job. We've also helped a series of clients get opportunities in different career paths. All right. So these clients, with how the job market is, sometimes it could be discouraging. I'm going to tell you guys the good part and bad part. Sometimes you could stay, you don't get interviews, but our client managers ensure that communication availability is top notch, so that you would be able to feel seen and heard within the whole process. All right. So these are just feedback directly from our clients, which clients working with client managers, right? So we have most of this coming from the clients, how happy they've been, even with all the struggles and everything, but they were just having a good experience with it. All right. Like I mentioned, we don't guarantee jobs, please. We don't give you jobs. We support you with the process of getting a job. And our prices will be increasing going into December. So before I show you guys this, I want us to start. You might also have to start keeping your questions in the chat so that you don't forget them, because we are getting into question and answers time. And yeah, I want all of us to do that in the next couple of minutes. Can also raising your hand if you have a question, right? So we have our packages here. We're increasing these prices because a lot of changes that are being made in the job market in itself, a lot of changes that are being made in a whole lot of things, and we need to adapt to help you. And in order to help you, we need to do what we have to do. So right now is the best time to get value at a very affordable price, because by January, you're not going to find it like this again. So it's better you secure your slot ahead of hiring season. So we have the basic package. If you're specific with what you want, you just want us to talk your CV and your LinkedIn, that is the basic package, which is $50. So we give you an ATS compliant CV, and we optimize your LinkedIn. A profile makeover. Let's give you a glow up on your LinkedIn. We'll do that for you. Now, your premium package is us applying to these jobs. You're working especially with a client manager, someone that works closely with you on these applications. Apply to these jobs. They will be tailoring your CV for each job that is being applied to. Your LinkedIn is going to be optimized, and we get you 3 interviews in 6 to 8 weeks of this application. That is the premium package, which is $150. All right. So it's actually not time bound, but we try as much as possible to put these deliverables within 6 to 8 weeks. All right. But it's a one-off payment, and would keep applying till we get you these interviews. Now, finally, is the comprehensive package. So if you want interview prep inclusive, so we apply, give you a well-revamped CV, optimize your CV for these job opportunities, get you your interviews. In the comprehensive package, we assign it to a professional that preps you for these interviews, so that you would increase your chances of actually getting a job. That's $250 for the comprehensive. All right. So even if you're in the UK, our prices these are like standard price. So from the main start link, which my colleague is going to drop in the chat, you would be able to see the equivalent conversion in your currency. All right. Now, the special package for clients looking for sponsorship is the platinum package. This includes 50 specific sponsorship applications, CV revamp, LinkedIn optimization, and 2 interview prep sessions, which is £150. All right. So now this is all you need to know about this. I'll be taking specific questions now. So the next couple of minutes would be for questions. All right. All right. So I'll be looking at the chat. Where am I even going to start from, guys? Oluseyi, unmute them so that we can start having conversations. Where do I start from? Okay, my biggest challenge has been getting recruiters and employers to agree with the salary set by Home Office for visa sponsorship. So when it comes to getting sponsored, to be honest, there's nothing guaranteed around it. Okay, you can see that even this our package here, we didn't put any guarantee there because it can be, there is a lot of nuance when it comes to visa sponsorship. All right, so if you're trying to set a salary expectation for a recruiter, or you see a particular job, I think I've worked with a client that wanted her salary to be in a particular range, but her skill sets and experience did not match up to that. So we're looking at a more mid-level salary range for entry-level skill set and experiences. That's a mismatch. So even if, you know, we're not even getting as much traction. All right, so sometimes you literally have situations like that. You really need to reassess. Okay, do I need to get more skills? You might not even have time on your hands. That's why I said there's a lot when it comes to sponsorship. So if you have time, like for people that have time, plan yourself well, please. If you have a year and you see where you are, you feel okay, between now and then, I need to get a job that would most likely sponsor me in the next couple of months or years or whatever, and you have a year left for your visa to expire, please take calculated actions that would make you stand a chance of getting a sponsored job. If you do not have any experience in that role that you think will put you on a level where you can earn a particular salary range, go and gain that skill, go and gain that experience. Make sure you are always improving yourself so that you get your first entry level job, and from there you know that, oh, you've gotten into the system now, you've gotten as an entry level. Use the next 6 months, gain as much experience, then take it up from there. I start applying again. Like that's literally how you do it. All right. Now, let me look at more questions. Let me see. I'm interested in you to help work on my CV. How can you help me on that? Okay, so I think Oluseyi, drop the clarity session link in the chat so that we can speak to some people. So if you want to have a CV revamp LinkedIn optimization done, we have that. That's the first package, which is $50, and we do that. We'll do it for you. All right. So yes, it might involve sharing your LinkedIn login, but if you're not okay with giving access to that, we can give you feedback. But it's a done for you type of thing. We'll do the CV and the LinkedIn optimization. Can you? Okay, no. I think these are questions when I was talking. Talent Loop is only for people in the UK. No, it's not for people just in the UK. Priscilla, well, our services are tailored not only to guys in the UK, but because this session was specific for them, that's why you heard me saying more things about the UK. We serve clients. We serve clients in Canada. We serve clients in the US. We serve clients in Ireland too. Okay. What's success rate of CV revamp and LinkedIn optimization? When you say success rate, do you mean how well CVs get interviews, LinkedIn gets callbacks? Yeah, it does get a lot of traction, to be honest. Compared, if we compare between when a client joins us and when they start getting traction, like calls and all of that, there's always a major difference. So let's even remove interviews first. Calls and profile visits and reach out on LinkedIn. Yeah, there's always a major difference. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Can you help get a data analyst tech related job to make me work from home? Which package do you recommend? There are a couple of things I would love to ask around it. So I would say, Emmanuel, please book for a clarity session. First question is, do you have a tech skill already? Have you learned data analysis? What's the experience like? Okay, so when we understand all these things, we know how to help you. Some of us here might not be, you might not be ready for this job search yet. You might need to go and get your skills first. Some of us might need to go and get experience. So having a clarity session with us would help you to gain more understanding about the next steps you should take. And I would be there to, have that one-on-one clarity with most of you. So just book for a session. It's in the chat. Now I can speak to guys. I think I've answered all the questions in the chat. Number one hand is Abimbola. Hi, Abimbola. You can go ahead and ask your question. Oh, well, let me see. Okay. I think Can they unmute?
You haven't answered all the questions. There's a question you didn't answer.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Can you point me to the question? Because
So the question is based on the best training. Let me pick it from here.
All right.
So it says, as a HR professional, kindly
Mm-hmm.
advise on the best training and skill to have in order to have a higher leverage in the UK job market.
All right. As a HR professional, right? We're all leaning to tech right now. Okay. So if you are trying to upskill, I'm not even talking about pivots because upskilling is the best way to go. Okay. You should be looking at um involving a lot of technology into most of what you do as a HR professional. So I saw one of us here, I think HR tech. I don't know if that's, I think who that is. I was actually like, yes, this person knows. The person probably got the update early, right? So you should be looking at upskilling in that direction, including tech in whatever you're doing, because when you do that, it puts you on leverage compared to people within the same field. Another thing would be going within the route of HR analytics or including data into it. So it means that you're also upskilling as a data analyst, but you're specific with working on projects, HR related projects in data analysis. So now you're using tech tools like Excel, Power BI to kind of represent most of the um most of the things you do as a HR professional. So while other people are doing the regular things, for you now, you have leverage because you can use certain tool sets like, you know, Excel, Power BI. You can now apply to jobs outside of the regular kind of jobs you'll be applying to. If you see a job, HR analyst, you can apply. If you see a job like within those kind of career paths, you can also apply for it. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Go towards tech. Like, you don't need to go fully in, but see how you can integrate technology into what you're doing, either from analysis or just anyhow you want to do it. Just make sure that you're integrating technology into it, right? A couple of people got fired in one of these top organizations just randomly, a good number of them, right? And you might be asking yourself, is it that these people do not know what they are doing, or AI is here, right? AI is here to change a lot of things, and it doesn't mean that everybody will lose their job. No, it just means that you should always be at the top of your game. Whatever you're doing, if there are manual processes in it, your thoughts should be, how can I automate? What are the tools I can bring into this that makes it easy for me or the company? So when you're having an interview in that particular career path and they see that, oh, you've gone to the point of looking for how to use certain tools to make things easy, trust me, they would want to hire you to help make things easy for them too. So integrate tech into HR, right? When you're upskilling. And I think you might want to do specific research around that because I am aware of HR analytics. I don't know if there's anything around integration of AI into, there should be, because AI right now is being integrated into everything. So that's like the best way you should be, targeting. Don't know if, do I have to pay for Clarity Chat? No, 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 no. Clarity Call is free. Just book for a session. It's a 20 minutes conversation, so you need to come prepared. Hi, good luck. Good luck. Your hand is raised. You can go ahead and ask your questions. Please, guys, if you have any questions you feel you want to ask, now is the best time to ask those questions. You can unmute yourself. Let's have a conversation, or you can use the chat if you're at a place. I think someone is speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Yeah.
another question? You had actually tried to answer it, but I wasn't satisfied. I just wanted a direct answer because I asked, what's the success rate? So when I say what's the success rate for CV and LinkedIn optimization, because I believe that if people pay $50 for you to revamp their CV and update their LinkedIn, you would get feedback or referrals. So you have an idea of, what the interviews that these people have been able to get after revamping their CVs, and also the referrals, because people will be like, oh, these people helped me. So people will refer. So you guys should have an idea of how many people you were able to do that for and how many people came back to give testimonies about it. So with
Okay.
that, yeah. So
Okay. Thanks for actually clarifying that. Maybe the tracking part, but I can tell you for a fact that typically what happens is when the client comes, most of them coming for the first package, CV LinkedIn typically upgrade to us applying for them. Like I can tell you that 70% of the time, 60% of the time, that's what happens. So we give them a CV, they love this CV, and they're now like, oh, might as well just go ahead with the LinkedIn of the applications, right? But even from CV revamp, LinkedIn optimization, right? We've also been able to clients actually like the way we present them on their CV. So that feedback is currently not being tracked per se, but I can only give you like generally. Most of the time they upgrade packages. So the way it works is that if you're coming back to us as a repeat client, you get a discount. All right. So if you're starting with the first package and you go ahead, apply to these jobs, and probably you don't have enough time to apply as many as possible, you don't have time to be tailoring, because what we give you is a base CV. The way we do it, once you come on board, right? Um, a master CV is being created. This CV contains literally all the information you would need, all right? But when you're coming to tailor to specific jobs, you're not going to use your master CV to be applying. You use your master CV to tailor specifically to jobs, all right? So what we give to you is a master CV, all right. So this is why I was telling you that people typically come to let us, do the applications for them most of the time. But I can tell you for a fact that it's a good percentage. All right. But we'll start tracking so that we'll be able to be giving accurate numbers and data and feedback and all of that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I want to show you guys what a typical CV looks like. Do we have any more questions, guys? I don't know. Was I able to give you a better answer? I know I didn't give you a
yeah,
specific number, but yeah, that's
yeah,
literally it.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ellen has a question. So I'm going to use my CV for example. Okay. All right. You can see a lot of numbers here on my CV, guys. Your CV should be this is a master CV too, right? This is what it looks holistically. Your CV needs to be top-notch packed, right? Experiences, tools, you can see here, Power BI, Google Analytics, CRM tools. I know how to use all these tools, right? And this is a master CV that the tool sets here are tool sets that are required of my industry, all right? And you can see numbers, right? I've 60% optimization of demonstrated success in increasing client acquisition by 65%, optimizing sales funnels by 40%, and expanding community engagement. These are things that recruiters want to see upfront. And with the way this CV is structured, it is ATS compliant. All right. So tools, I told you that the UK market is tools heavy. So all these tools here also serve as keywords. Don't be scared to bombard your CV with tools, all right, and also your technical skills. So this is like if you can look at this CV and you have a mental representation of what yours look like, and there is a mismatch, you know that you need to go back and do a lot of adjustments, right? So I'm going to be taking more questions. I think someone else is trying to speak. My background is in quality. I don't know why I didn't wear my glasses for this session, but okay. But I'm going to try my best to read what I see in the chat. Ellen says My background is quality, health, safety. Whenever I see this career path, I'm always like, interesting. Also, emergency response. I did ISO cybersecurity, having a number of interviews, not been successful. Project manager, data. Do you have advice? I should do a training, switch to any of these roles. Ellen, don't switch. Don't switch. All right. If you're getting interviews, it means you're qualified. Where you're having issues, from what I've read, if I have a more in-depth conversation with you, I might have a different opinion. But just looking at this, your issue is not your career path. It's probably your representation during these interviews. Like, based off what you've told me here, you shouldn't be switching. All right. Even if you were going to do anything, I wouldn't say switch, pivot. All right. You've already done a little in JRC. You might also want to leverage that, but don't switch. You don't need to switch completely, except you don't like what you're doing currently. You can go ahead and do a whole 360. But where you are is a good place. All right. What you should be looking at is, how can I sell myself better to recruiters? Okay. You know that technique I mentioned, a lot of people are not doing it. Record yourself during these interviews. Some of you might feel, oh, I did well in an interview, and you get a rejection and you're surprised, like, I thought they said I did pretty well. No, record those interviews and listen to yourself again, so that every interview gives you feedback on what you should do in the next one. So Ellen, don't switch. Do a complete assessment of, the interviews you've done so far. What was that thing that you probably feel like you didn't say well enough, or where exactly is the problem? Just book a clarity session, right? Let's have a more in-depth conversation. But from everything you've shared, don't switch, please. You have leverage. You're probably not using it the way you're supposed to, because let's say you go into data analysis now. Where do you want to start from? Right, that's going to be the question. How do you want to do it? What kind of roles would you apply for that makes you better than the next person with more experience? That's why I said you should not switch. Okay, so Ellen, just give me a thumbs up when you book the clarity session, because I actually want to speak with you. I've spoken to a couple of health and safety guys recently, and like, I don't want to say much, but just book a call. Let's talk, so that you are well, right. Thank you so much. Yeah, sure, Ellen, please don't make a mistake, right? That mistake is going to cost you time, and I'm not sure you have that kind of time to waste. Okay. All right. Do we have more questions? I see hands. I'm not seeing a lot of hands, guys. We're coming to the end of this session. We've already spent 5 more minutes in. You can raise your hand. Let's have a conversation. Book for a clarity call, guys. Book for a clarity call. Book for a clarity call. Let's speak to you. Okay. Our packages, like I mentioned, by January, you're not finding any of these the same way. Everything would be changing. Everything would be adjusting, right? So you have between now and the 15th, 20th, you will still see it this way. All right. So the best steps for you right now: book for a call. Let's classify you quickly, so you know a package to pick, and we get you loaded for January, which is peak hiring season. So from the clarity session, you know what you should be focused on between now and December. You've secured your slot, and you know that once you're focusing on these things, by January we kickstart your applications. All right, that's literally what the timeline is like. And for people that might be wondering, how do you guys do it? Okay, great. How do you guys do it? I'm going to run you through what the process looks like. So you're assigned to a client manager, an employability specialist. It's a one-on-one thing. And typically you need to create like a new email, for this purpose. You need to have a new email address, because we do not want to mix personal stuff and work stuff together. In fact, for privacy concerns, we don't even want to have your personal email address, right? So a new email with new logins is what we'll be working with. Your LinkedIn logins to. We need to be able to optimize it inside out because it's a done for you service. All right. And you also need to come with a lot of prayers and a lot of um grits, right? You need to be ready because recruiters will call, you would, the rejections are normal, but with us, you might not have as much, but it would come. There will be scenarios where you might stay 2 weeks, you're not getting anything, and then in the third week, two things are coming at the same time, and now you have two interviews to prepare for, but you're not ready. These are different scenarios that play out, guys. And if you're looking for sponsorship, we also have a package, like I mentioned. I need more questions. I don't know. Does any other person have a question, clarification? You booked for a session. I want to be sure that we're booking for these sessions, guys. Let me see. Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay, Ellen, you booked. Great. Great. That's really good. Booked for Monday. Thanks a lot. Expect your call via Teams. It's Google Meet, but yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Hope your rate still remains same till ending of December 2025. Till 20th, actually. 20th is in 14 days. Till 20th. Because companies will be going on, it's hiring will probably reduce between the 23rd towards the ending of December. So whatever you're doing between now and that time, you should be set already. Let me see. Okay. So in the absence of questions, I really want to hope we booked for these clarity sessions. My colleague is still dropping the links in the chat so that we don't miss any. If you can't find a timing, let me know. If there's a timing, there's no timing that works for you, just let me know so that we can create a special time to have a conversation with you. All right. If none of the timings there work, just let me know. All right. So we've come to the end of this session. I want to thank you guys especially for taking out time to listen to me, taking out time to engage with me up until this point. I know most of us would still have conversations beyond this because when it comes to this kind of service, there are some things that not a lot of people like to share in groups. So that's why I said book for a one-on-one. The clarity is one-on-one. All right. So go ahead, book for that. But it's great to have you all here. And I'm looking forward to having most of us on board with us. Come, let's support you with the applications. Let's support you with getting a job in Q1. All right. Let's do all of that we have. But in the meantime, this made my evening. Ellen, that's so nice of you. Thank you. All right. So in the meantime, have a very wonderful evening, guys. If you still have questions, please. Most of us are in the groups. All right. So reach out in the groups or send a message to whoever is the group admin. They'll be able to support you. Right. Oh, all right, guys. If you gain one or two things from this, just give me a thumbs up. If you're still here with me, give me a thumbs up. All right. Good. It's good to know that people are still here. Okay. All right, guys. Have a very wonderful evening ahead. Yeah, have a very wonderful evening ahead. And I'll see you all when I see you guys in Clarity or in the DMs, because some of you might actually send DMs. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.